Hi, Cheryl Schmidt here, and this lesson is all about moving around from within the command prompt environment. So what commands we're going to go over is the MD, the RD, and the CD commands. So what's the MD command? The MD command, also known as the mkdir command, is known or used to make a directory. So the command itself is used to make a directory from within the current directory structure. And this is, you can tell where you're at from looking at the prompt. So here's an example of being within C colon, so on the hard drive, in a directory called users, in a subdirectory under users called Cheryl2, the command md CTS 1133. There's a space between the MD, the make directory command, and then the name of the directory that you want to create. So that right there is going to create a directory within the Cheryl2 subdirectory. So there's going to be a third or a users, and then underneath users is Cheryl2, and then underneath Cheryl2 is going to be another subdirectory, a subdirectory called CTS 1133. So once you have done this command, you just press enter. You get no feedback whatsoever that anything has happened. And you type dir. Here's right here, it's shown dir. And look here, CTS 1133, and you can see by this notation right here in brackets that it is a directory. And it's listed in alphabetical order that there's under users, under Cheryl2, there's a subfolder called contacts, there's a subdirectory called CTS1133, there's a subdirectory called desktop, another one called documents, on and on. So the RD command, very, very similar, and it is used to delete a directory. The directory must not contain any files. It has to be totally empty or you can't remove it, and you're going to see that in the lab. So here's an example of how we would remove the directory that we just created. So RD space, the name of the subdirectory, or CTS 1133, and because we're in users /Cheryl2, that is all we have to type. And once you type this and press enter, you're just sitting right back at the prompt. There's no indication that anything has happened, but it has. If you type dir and take a look here. There's contacts, there's desktop, there's documents, there's downloads. No CTS 1133 is left, so you know you've done a good job. Next, there's another way to do it. Actually, there's a gazillion ways of doing it, but I'll just show you one other way. So I actually like this way because it actually makes more sense to people that you can use the full path from any prompt and the results will always be the same. And this sometimes is, and we'll talk more about it when we do the copy lesson, but this is, some people prefer this way. So the way that I would do the same thing that I just did is from the command prompt, I'd type MD, and here's the full path of I want it on the hard drive, I want it in the users directory, I want it called under the Cheryl2 subdirectory, and I want a new subdirectory called CTS 1133, no space. And once you do the dir, you take a look, woohoo, it's back in there. All right, so to remove it, you could do the same thing, RD space C colon / users / Cheryl2 / CTS 1133, hit enter, then do dir and verify that it's indeed gone. What's the CD command? Last one on our list. So the CD or change directory command is used to move around in the directory structure. So if you type dir, you can see that I'm in the C colon / users / Cheryl2, and you can see the same subdirectories that we've been looking at all throughout this lesson. So from this prompt, I could type CD space contacts, and that would move into this directory. I could also use the full path, as I've previously mentioned, with the RD and the MD command. I could type CD space C colon / users / Cheryl2 backslash contacts, and the prompt is going to change to C:\users backslash Cheryl2 backslash contacts. And then you'd have the greater than sign showing you exactly where you are. So this has been an introduction to the RD, the MD, I got those backwards, but MD, RD, and CD commands. So how are you going to get good at these? Practice, practice, practice. Make sure you do that lab several times before you move on to the next lesson. Keep going. You're doing great.